Hey guys, I'm Maurice. Welcome back to the channel. And recently I had a coworker come up to me and ask me about cameras. And I don't know if this happens to you, but like when people find out that you're into cameras, or if you're a photographer, and at my job, all my coworkers know I'm the resident photographer in my office. So this coworker basically asked me what cameras I would recommend because they want to buy a camera for their daughter who has been kind of telling them that, they want a camera, they want to get into photography, they want to take pictures. But now this parent, my coworker, doesn't want to like spend so much money on a camera for their daughter and then find out that maybe they don't want to get into photography or whatever. Like, they just they're budget minded. So I always ask them, well, it depends on what your budget is. Then I can recommend a camera. So they kind of gave me a budget of like, $500 ish, maybe a little bit more, like in that ballpark. So I'm kind of assuming this is going to be like somewhere between $500 and $1,000, but closer to 500. That's kind of like their budget. And so I kind of took it as a challenge. I thought about it and I'm like, that is interesting. We live in a time where there's so many options, there's so many cameras. And in the past, really what I've usually have done years ago is I would often tell people, well, you know what? Do you have a Costco membership, or do you have like a Sam's Club membership or BJ's? But my experience has more been with Costco. And in the past, you can just walk into any Costco or a Sam's Club really, and in their tech section, like where the TVs and all the technology stuff is, there is usually like some kind of camera kit that they sell, whether it's like a Canon DSLR that's kind of like a prosumer version, or like a Nikon. It's usually like Canon and Nikon that I always see. Like, well, they sell like a box of like where you get the camera and like a camera bag and like two kit lenses, like a regular, usually it's like an 18 to 55, and then like a zoom lens. For the most part, I think for like most people that are getting into photography or just want a camera that's like better than their phone to go out and take pictures of their kids' sports stuff or family stuff, or to give to their kids so that they can learn how to take photos, I think that's a great place to start. But I've noticed recently that like Costco and Sam's Club, they don't really have that anymore. Like if you go on their websites, like for the most part, all you'll see is like action cameras and like, 360 cameras and point and shoot cameras, but not like these DSLR kits that I used to see years ago. I don't know if it's like a regional thing, if your Costco or Sam's Club has them, but I haven't seen them. So I decided to kind of do some research, and I started like scouring B&H and other like Best Buy and stuff like that, and Amazon. And so I narrowed it down to 4 cameras. These are 4 cameras that are under $1,000 and are close to the $500 range. Like more, I think they're in between 500 and 1,000 really, because really it's really hard to get a camera that's $500 or less unless you go the used route. And so in this video, with that introduction out of the way, in this video, I'm going to give you these 4 cameras that I found online that are available right now that you can get here at the end of 2025, that I think would be great for anyone that's wanting to get into photography. But I added the little caveat that these cameras can also do video. Now, most cameras can do video, but most young people now, like if they're going to shoot photos, they're also going to want to shoot video. So I feel like it's kind of a given that the camera be kind of like a quasi hybrid camera. So these are the 4 cameras that I picked. We're going to pull them up right here on my screen so you can see them with me. And then at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to search the used market. We're going to go to MPB and see what can you get for like $500 ish that I think would be a good option as well. So let's dive right in. Here we go. Let's go on my screen. All right. So right off the bat, I'm here on the B&H website. And as you can see, they're already like announcing new cameras for pre-order. I mean, these are obviously not going to be in our budget. As you can see, these are pretty expensive. We'll go back over here. This is my methodology. This is what I do. Like, I'll go to photography, right? And we'll go to digital cameras right here. And I'm going to leave these alone. I'm going to immediately just come over here and sort by lowest price, $200 to $1,000, right? That's $1,000. There we go. The other thing I'll do is I'll do brand. We'll do Canon and Fuji and Nikon, Olympus, OM Systems, Panasonic, and Sony. I'll put Pentax on there. I'm not too familiar with their cameras, but I'll put Pentax on there. So these are Insta cameras. Let's see, keep going. Now, I could just search DSLRs or mirrorless, but I just kind of want to see what our options are as far as both, because it's also showing me. So here we go. This is the Canon EOS R100. Here's the body only, $459. Now, this is not bad. The only thing is there's no flippy screen on here. So that's kind of like a strike that there's no flippy screen. And the controls, not a lot of controls on here. So if you're somebody that's like wanting to learn photography, I wouldn't recommend a camera like that. Here's the Sony ZV-1F, which is actually the camera that I have that I bought used, and I always forget the name of this camera. It's kind of an ongoing joke on my channel that I always forget the name of this camera. I actually have this same exact one, this little white one right here. Great little camera, only shoots JPEG, doesn't shoot RAW, big deal. The images are okay. It's a fixed lens, but for somebody that wants to learn photography and really like kind of have that feeling of photography, I wouldn't recommend that. This Lumix here, this is a fixed lens, also not interchangeable. I wouldn't be surprised if this takes great photos, but again, we want something for someone that is like learning photography or wants to learn photography, wants to learn how to shoot manual and all that jazz. We have the DSLR here, the Rebel T7. Again, no flippy screen though. And this is kind of like a very, very beginner, not a lot of manual controls. I wouldn't really recommend this. This is kind of on its way out as far as technology. The DSLR options are starting to kind of like diminish. Here we go. Now we're getting into some higher end mirrorless here. This is the Nikon Z30. This camera, from what I hear, is amazing. Nikon and Red kind of like merged. I think Nikon bought Red or one or the other or something like that. They kind of married each other, and now Nikon now has amazing video specs. So this has a nice flippy screen, no viewfinder. That might not be a deal breaker for you. This is not bad, this camera. $606 just for the body. If we keep scrolling, this is the Canon version of it. These two are kind of like competing. As you can see, they're very similar. Same thing. This is body only. Here's a Pentax DSLR, has a flippy screen, but again, APS-C sensor. I'm not too familiar with Pentax, but you do kind of see like manual controls on that screen there, which I kind of like. But I don't know too much about Pentax or their lenses, so I wouldn't be able to recommend it. Here's an interesting camera, the SL3. This is older camera. I have the SL2. That's like what I've been shooting my YouTube videos with the SL2 for years, here on this channel and on my wife's channel, Simply Made Fancy, and on my kids and I have a little Star Wars channel, Jedi Toy Masters, and we've shot so many videos on the SL2. This is the SL3. The only difference is this does 4K. SL2 does not. It's 1080p. Again, body only, $649. It's a good camera. It doesn't really give you that much options as far as manual controls. It's a little tricky with the buttons and the knobs and stuff, or lack of. All right, here we go. G100D. This is mirrorless. I've heard a lot of great things about this camera. Great for video and photos. And it does have a viewfinder. And here we go. This one comes with a 12 to 32 lens. This is micro four thirds, so 12 to 32, you double it. This is basically 24 to 64, which is not bad. That's kind of like most APS-C cameras will have like an 18 to 55 kit lens. So this is very similar to that. Not bad. Nice little pancake lens, kind of, really, really nice. So this is an option. This wasn't on my list, but that's an option. That's an option, actually. I hadn't really added this one. If I was going to add the fifth camera to my list, it'll be this one, because I think this is not bad, especially for someone that is starting out. And this does have we'll open this up in a new tab so we can take a look at it. Let's keep going because we're almost approaching some of the cameras that I did pick. In fact, the camera at the bottom of my list is this one, the R100. So this one right here with the kit lens, we'll open that up in the new tab. And we'll keep going. This is a Rebel DSLR. Wasn't really on my list. Here's the Nikon Z60 with a 16 to 50 lens. Again, this is not bad either. I'm kind of on the fence because I don't know too much about this camera. And for me, I think I really like when a camera has a viewfinder. This doesn't have a viewfinder, but we'll take a look at it. We'll see. All right, we're getting into some other cameras here. Let's keep going. Here we go. I think, was this one of the ones? Yes, the G7. This one was on my list. And I think the price dropped from the last time I checked on it. So we'll open that up. That was one of my picks. Let's go to the next page here. Here we go. This was my other pick, and actually the price dropped on this one as well. Wow, not bad. And my last pick was this one right here, but we want it with the kit lens because this does have a flippy screen. Here we go. This is it right here. So we'll click on that one. All right. So here's my order from least to best. We're going to start off with this one, the Canon EOS R100, mirrorless with 18 to 45. Pretty nice looking camera. Let's look at the pictures here. Doesn't have a flippy screen. That's right. That one doesn't have a flippy screen. But this is at the low end of my list because the price. So it comes with a kit lens. It's, nice little solid camera, especially for a beginner. Has a mic input. There we go. So you can do some nice videos with it. $668. I actually had seen this a little bit cheaper than this. Actually, here it is. The no kit one. Here it is. $559. So there we go. This is the closest to the goal of $500 that I found. So for $560, you get this camera with the kit lens, and I think it's a solid option. You get some video capability, but it's at the bottom of the barrel for me. So that's why it's there. Moving up a little bit to this guy right here. This is the Lumix G7. This is now a mirrorless camera, but solid, has a flippy screen. Look at those dials. A lot more control, a lot more manual settings that you can, play around with. Has a more of a little vintagey looking camera look to it. I like this. I like this in black, actually. I saw one that was kind of like in a silver and it looked too plasticky, but this looks really nice. Again, $700, not bad. So this is kind of like my, if this was the bottom of the barrel, we're moving one spot up, would be this one step up. And if we want something a little bit better, Canon R50, this is a little bit stepped up. This has the flip out screen. So this is like getting a little bit, this, I think I would give this a tie with this Panasonic. The only reason this is a lot older, this camera, and this Canon is a lot newer. So, a a little newer technology. This is APS-C, not Micro Four Thirds. You get a little bit bigger sensor, and you can get it in white. But that's now we're closer to $1,000. So if we're gonna spend that kind of money, then my top pick really is this one right here, the Sony ZV-E10. This camera right here, actually, one of my coworkers has this camera, and it's a great camera. Amazing video, has the Sony video science. It has the E-mount lens mount, so all the Sony lenses will fit on it. Even though this is APS-C, it'll fit every Sony lens. So that's a plus. No viewfinder, but it does have a flippy screen, has video inputs and all that, and great for video. Nice, can take some nice, decent photos. And there is a ZV-E10 Mark II that's a lot pricier because it's newer. But for the price here, $700, not bad. Now, if we want something newer, then this guy right here for the similar price, $700. This guy right here is very similar. Also has a flippy screen. Also has this is APS-C as well. And I would argue that because this is newer, this has a little bit more, like the technology in it. It's probably a little bit more high end. I don't know about the photos. I'm assuming are decent. Nikon has done a good job over the years of kind of improving on their color science and all that stuff. So this is not a bad deal. I actually had forgotten about this camera when I did my initial search. So I would say these are like my top 5. So let's say, fifth place, Canon EOS R100 at $560. Number 4 would be the Canon EOS R50. A little pricier, but it's a newer camera, flippy screen, 24 megapixels. Number 3, it's an older camera right here. It's Micro Four Thirds. I think this is a decent, especially for the price, because you're not spending that type of money. That's $820, and this is $650, and you're going to get a solid camera. It's pretty solid. Number 2 would be this one, the Sony ZV-E10. Solid camera, you can't go wrong. A lot of people use this camera also for like live streaming. It has a lot of options for lenses. Number 1 right now, my number 1 pick, I would say this one. It's almost like they're tied. The Sony and this Nikon are tied because they're very similar cameras. This is a solid little camera. The used route is another route that we can take. And if we want to see something real quick, we go to Sony mirrorless right here. If we sort by lowest price, look at the prices on these. And these little A5000, A5100, you can get them for as little as $330. There's the right here, a used ZV-E10. You can get it for as little as $604, $644. Let's see, new. Oh, actually, new is actually a better. Well, this doesn't have a lens. We forgot to look at this with a lens. That's what we forgot to do. So let's type that in. The Sony ZV-E10. Here we go. So with the lens, my bad. We were looking at the wrong one. $798, and the Nikon is $696. So Nikon's a little bit cheaper. Looks a little, but it's about the same size. But there they are. Now, used, you can get that camera for $644. Look at that, $644. But then you have to buy the lens. There's the Mark II right there. The Mark II is a lot more pricier. I would do either B&H or Amazon. I'll link them below so you can check them out. But now, used cameras. Let's say we were going to buy the ZV-E10 for $644, and now we want a decent lens for it. Let's see, for a lens, go to Sony eFit. And let's see, what's the cheapest lens we can get for Sony? Look at that. You can get a 16 to 50 for as little as $95, 18 to 55 for as little as $160. A little 16 pancake lens, that would be great for like vlogging, you know, right there. But if you want a little bit reach, you know, you might want to get like a mini zoom lens. I mean, these are like the kit lens right here. Like this is like a kit lens. That's like a kit lens. So you figured an extra $100, you know, at that point, you almost might as well buy it new. But, you know, if you wanted to get a fancier lens, let's keep going here. What do we got here? What do we have? Oh, this is a nice one. There's 16 to 50. That's kind of like the kit lens. Yeah, so you're almost at the same price used here. That's unfortunate. But that's a 22.8. That's a nice little pancake lens. This is what I did. I picked up a Micro Four Thirds camera and I came in here and I went boom right there, Micro Four Thirds Olympus and Pen F. This is like a camera that everybody's talking about. But if we want to go cheap, and that's what we want to do, we're on a budget. Here we go. EOM 10. That's a solid camera right there. It's a little plastic. It's plasticky. It's not weather sealed, but man, that's a great price. This is what I have. The EM5 Mark II. There we go. You can get it for as low as $404 or as high as $504. And the lenses, guys, the lenses they're cheap. You can get lenses for like $100, $200. Not bad at all. So there you have it, guys. And you can come in here. You can search. I mean, let's go to Panasonic if you want that. Search by lowest price. There is this one, GX85. That's a decent camera from what I understand. There's the G100 and there's the G100D, the newer one. Look at that. $454. That's solid, man. $700 with the kit lens. You can't go wrong with this. Any kid that gets this camera for Christmas will be happy, or anybody that wants a nice little solid little camera. You can go out, take some photos, you know, go travel with it, take some video, amazing video. These are solid all the way around. All right, back to the studio. Once you go down the rabbit hole of like looking at cameras on here, this is what you have to do. This is the research that you have to do. I mean, like when I was looking for Micro Four Thirds cameras, like that's what I was doing. I was going online, constantly looking at watching videos and going on websites and researching and checking out the used market. I mean, I didn't even mention, you know, B&H has an amazing used camera section as well. You can check that out as well. But this is what I got as far as for me, for my Micro Four Thirds journey. The Olympus EM5 Mark II. I got the little Olympus 17 1.8. I also have the 45 millimeter lens. I have a little tiny baby flash, Olympus flash on it. I've kind of rigged this out a little bit with this grip and this little eye cover so I can have a little bit of extra rubber on there. You know, this I picked up a while back. The Sony 1F, ZV-1F, I think. I'll put it again. I'm sorry. I always forget the name of this damn camera. This is a solid little camera too. I took it on vacation over the summer. Only shoots JPEG. You know, photos are pretty decent. I think this is more for video, this one. But the ZV-E10, it's like a plumpier version of this with interchangeable lenses. Like it's very similar. This looks like a mini version of that. And then just for fun, I picked this guy up on eBay, the Samsung NX Mini. This is just awesome. You like the minute you flip the screen up, you can like vlog with this thing. The video quality is amazing. I shot a couple of videos with this. You can see them on this channel. And this is tiny and it's interchangeable. You can take these lenses off. They don't really make these lenses anymore, which is unfortunate, but it's a solid little camera. But anyway, if you're looking for something for yourself or as a gift, like my coworker had asked me about, and your budget is, between $500 and $1,000, I think these 5 cameras that I've narrowed down are solid picks as far as cameras that you can go and order and buy right now. Some of them have been around for a few years. They're not like grand spanking new, but I think they're all solid. They are all great introductory cameras. And yeah, if you want to take a road down on the used market, then you have even more options as far as used market. You just have to do your research and kind of like understand what you want, what you're looking for. But I think ultimately you can't go wrong with either, because you're either going to get a brand new camera kit with a kit lens and a nice, a little setup that you can start out with for under $1,000. Or if you want to be closer to the $500 goal, go used. And places like KEH or MPB are great because they do have a little bit of a warranty on them. So, you can buy them, try them out. You can return them. So that, if you don't like it, you can, do that. They're reputable companies. These cameras are used. Some of them are more used than others, but, they're very honest as far as a description on there. They'll give you a rating as far as if they're excellent condition or like new or just good. So anyway, I hope this helped. I hope if you guys are on the market for looking, or if you're looking for yourself or for a loved one or as a gift or something, holidays are right around the corner. And I think every Christmas, there's always somebody in the family that wants a camera. Especially because people like having cameras during the holidays before Christmas so they can take pictures during Christmas. But I think a lot of especially like young people are looking to get into photography sometimes. Maybe that's a New Year's resolution. I don't know. But in any event, these are all solid cameras. I'll link them all below. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're watching this after Thanksgiving, then hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And if you're watching this closer to Christmas, well, hope you guys have a great Christmas. Hope you are blessed and be blessed and enjoy taking photos. And so go out, take some photos. If you don't have a camera, these are great picks if you're on a budget. And maybe I'll do a video where I kind of like throw the budget out the window and we go all out as far as the top 5 cameras that I would buy if money was no options. If money was no object. Money was no object. Money was no option. If there was no budget, that's what I would do. Or that's what I would get if there's no budget. Stay tuned for that video. I think I'm going to do that one. 5 cameras, no budget. This video was 5 cameras with a little bit of a tight budget. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe, ring the bell and all that. Comment below, what cameras are you looking to get? Or do any of these cameras look great? Or is there anything that I missed? Maybe there's another camera that I should have added or substituted. Let me know in the comments below and let's chat down there. So anyway, see ya, and I'll catch you in the next one.